first class of biology. This is your first class of biology, class 6. Today we are going to discuss about the cell. What is the chapter name? This is cell. Do you know what is cell? What the word first come in your mind? Maybe cell mean any room-like structure or any box-like structure. That means cell mean actually the prisonment. But in biology, the cell is another thing. Cell is the basic unit of our life. Every animal, every plant have their body, which they have in their body. All have all the organs, all the bones, all skins, all these things have the cell. All these things made up of the cell. For plant, the leaves, the root, all the stems, the bark, all these things are made up of cell. So for knowing cell, we had to know some point or at first the history of the cell. We had to know about the history of the cell. Before going to discuss about the different thing on cell, we first come to know about the history of cell. Okay, so first history. Who coined the name cell? In 1665, Robert Hooke, a scientist, Robert Hooke, first he made his own microscope. Microscope is an instrument which has the lens, and by this lens we can see the different type of smallest object which we can see in our naked eye. We can see by this instrument. This is the microscope. Okay, Robert Hooke, he invent microscope, and then he made a slice of bark. Bark mean bark or the cork, woody part of the tree or plant cell. He just made the slice of this cell or this cork, and then what he done? He just see it under the microscope, and then what he see? He saw just a honeycomb-like structure, hexagonal shaped some structure like that way. He just see, and there is some nucleus on that, and only the cell wall. He see only the cell wall, because this is a wood cell and this is a dead cell. He see the dead cells. Only he see the cell wall, and this is not in that time. This is no one know about the term cell. He just examined this and called this as cell, because a monastery like structure where all these things are and all these things made the cell of the plant. That's why he called this structure cell. Okay, so Robert Hooke is the main scientist who has the remarkable his donation on this cell biology. That means where we discuss about this cell, and he coined the name cell first. And another scientist, Anton van Leeuwenhoek, also invent different type of microscope. As his hobby, he different type of microscope he made, and he just what he done? He contribute another thing that all the cells, all the animal, all the plants have this type of room-like structure or this type of cell. All the animal, all the plants have. And after that, in 18th century, different scientists, zoologists, and botanists, Sladen, so on, and another scientist examine them in plant cell and in animal cell, and they also give us some remarkable theory on the cell. This is called the cell theory. What they tell? There is a 3 basic point on the cell theory. After their examination, they told the cell theory. What is the cell theory? Number 1 point. Cell is the basic, smallest unit of life. Third point. What is this? Third point is cell is the structural and functional unit of life. And this is 2, and third one, cell must arise from a pre-existing cell. So the cell theory, the third point is cell must arise from a pre-existing cell. That means every cell come from a pre-existing cell, and that means if we suppose if we let a frog, this frog must come from the egg or egg cell of the mother frog. Like that way, if we take a mango tree, also the mango tree come from the seed of their mother tree. Like that way, every cell come from a pre-existing cell. So this are the basic theory. Cell is the basic smallest unit of life. Cell is the structural and functional unit of life, and cell must arise from a pre-existing cell. So today, what do we come to know about? The cell, Robert Hooke in 1665, Robert Hooke first coined the name, and before that, microscope invented by Anton van Leeuwenhoek, another scientist who also told the basic theory that every plant cell and every animal have the cell. Their body is constructed with the huge amount of cell. Okay, and some are the microorganism whose body made up of only single number of cell, only one cell. They are the only single celled animal. Some are few celled. So now we are going to discuss about the animal which are single celled, which are few celled, and which are multi-celled. There are a little discussion and with example. Single celled organism, they are not animal or something, they are organism. The bacteria and the yeast, which we can't see in the naked eye because they are the single celled animal. Okay, now few celled animals, Pyrogyra, Volvox, they are few celled, no, like 100 cells, 100 to 1000 cells. Okay, now multi-celled, human, mango, any frog, they are the multi-cell. Larger the body of the animal or plant, the number of the cell is greater, and smaller the number of the cell, they have the smaller structure, not larger structure. Okay, and that's why I just told you the cell is the structural unit of life. Okay, so today we are just going to know about something. What is the cell component or the parts of a cell? Parts of a cell. At first, we can see there is a small chart-like structure where I present the cell component. Okay, there is something living part and something the non-living part. Okay, in the cell, within the cell. In cell, there is cell membrane and there is cell wall. That means cell membrane, every cell, animal cell, plant cell, all have the cell membrane. But in a plant cell, they only have another wall outside the cell membrane, that is cell wall. Okay, and then this is like, if we see it, it is a cell, and outer layer there is cell wall, another layer, this is cell membrane. And within the cell there is a nucleus, and this is the cytoplasm or cell material within the membrane. Okay, if we draw it like that way in plant cell, there is another cell wall outside the cell membrane, there is another cell wall, and in this there is a nucleus, and different type of cell organelles are here. This part is called cytoplasm. So within the membrane, without nucleus, the other part is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm plus nucleus, that means the cell. Okay, cytoplasm plus nucleus. protoplasm. Total is called the total cytoplasm plus plasm plus nucleus is equal to protoplasm. Okay, so this is the main component of cell. So now we are going to know about the component which are present in the cytoplasm. Okay, so this is the outer part, cell membrane, cell wall, which they have, and in the cytoplasm this is some organelles are there. Number 1, endoplasmic reticulum. Okay, mitochondria, then Golgi apparatus, then ribosome, then lysosome, centrosome, this is only for animal, and plastid, this organelle only present in the plant cell. Okay, and another some non-living organelles, that is granule, vacuole and fat droplet. Each organelles have different function, and in the next class or in other classes I will discuss about the different function which this material or this organelle done in our body. They each have the different function to made in our daily work. Okay, so and next another, without nucleus, this is another part, this is without cytoplasm, this is another part, that is nucleus. Okay, nucleus is the brain of our cell. Like the brain our brain do every work, help us to work, like that way nucleus do the every work of a cell. Okay, so nucleus is another thing which we call the brain of a cell. And nucleus has 4 basic part. Number 1, nuclear membrane. Number 2, nucleolus. Number 3, chromatin fibers, and nucleoplasm. What are they? Here we can see the structure of a nucleus. Okay, the structure of a nucleus. This is the only nucleus. Okay, and then it is present on the cytoplasm, whole cell made. Okay, this is the picture of a nucleus. You must try to draw and practice at home the structure of the nucleus. This is the nucleus, and there is the nuclear membrane. Outside the nucleus, there, what is this? This is nuclear membrane, and this is the gap between. This is the pore of the nucleus. Pore. This is the pore by which different type of chemicals, metabolic chemicals, all are transferred. Okay. Now this is a nucleolus. Within the nucleus, this is the nucleolus, and this is another thing, fiber-like, networking-like structure. This is chromatin fibers. Chromatin fiber, what they do? Chromatin fiber is the DNA material which carry the genetic or heredity information to one generation to another. Okay, but one cell to another. This is the DNA material or chromatin fiber present in the nucleus. And another, this is nucleoplasm, that is the liquid material present in the nucleus, which is a liquid material. All this present in the nucleus. This is called the nucleoplasm. So, there are some basic point of nucleus. There is 4 or 5 basic part of nucleus. Number 1, nucleolus. At first, membrane, nuclear membrane, outside part. Then there is a nucleolus. Then the liquid material, that is nucleoplasm. And then a chromatin fiber, that is DNA, which transfer the genetic information. This is the chromatin fiber. And then it is a pore or nuclear membrane pore, which help to transport different type of chemicals in between the nucleus and cell. Okay, this is the basic structure of a nucleus. So today we just going to know, we just already know about these things. What are the parts of the cell? This is the cell part, main 3 part, that is membrane. After that, number 2, this is cytoplasm, and after 3, this is nucleus. And we also come to know about the different organelle which are present in the cytoplasm, and obviously different part of a nucleus we already come to know by this video. Okay, so next day I just going to discuss about the plant cell and the animal cell. Plant cell and the animal cell by the diagram, how to draw a diagram. This is very important for your exam. The diagram of the plant cell and animal cell, and what is the basic difference between the plant cell and animal cell. We are going to know from the next classes. That is the plant cell and animal cell, and what are the basic difference between the plant cell and animal cell. Okay? Thank you, class.